Okay, hi everybody. I'm Katya. I'm a teacher here at Richmond Hill Art School. Some of you may know me, some of you might be in my class or have had me before, or some of you may have never seen my face. But I'm gonna teach you a simple drawing that you guys can do no matter what level you're at, and you can take it, either make it really detailed or you can keep it really simple if you're comfortable with that. So what you're gonna need is mixed media paper. That's the paper that you use in your sketchbook, so you can just use your sketchbook. You can also do this on printer paper. It's gonna be using pencil crayons, so anything you wanna use is fine, but I would recommend doing it in your sketchbook so that you can keep it and show it to friends and family. You are going to need pencil and an eraser, and I get my ruler here. This is really important because we're going to be making a lot of lines. And then once we're done with the drawing, you will be needing pencil crayons. You can use any type of pencil crayons that you want. I'm going to be using the woodless pencils that you guys all should have in your kit, but it's up to you. Whatever you have at home or whatever you want to use is totally fine. You can even use markers this if you want, so it's up to you. Okay, I guess let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. I have my paper, I have my pencil, I have my eraser, and I have a ruler here. So I'm gonna start by just finding the center of the paper and making a dot. If you don't know where the center is, you can measure on both sides and find the middle, but it doesn't have to be exact. I think it's somewhere around here. I know you guys can't really see it. I'll make it. No, I'll actually do this in Sharpie so that everyone can see this a lot better. You guys should do it in pencil though. So there is my circle. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my ruler and I am going to start making lines that go from the circle to either all directions of the paper. So let's do that. So I'm gonna put my ruler down and I'm just gonna put my ruler and make some lines. Oh, I did not do anything. Find it better Sharpie. Okay. And I'm basically just gonna be making these like V shapes. Okay, we're just gonna keep going around our paper and keep making lines that go from one side all the way to the other. Now what you're just gonna be doing is you're just gonna keep moving your ruler, and this doesn't have to be perfect, so some can be wider, some can be smaller than others, whatever you feel like doing. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Now, if you had trouble with that part, I would recommend thinking of it as the center of the sun is your dot, and these are the rays of light that are coming out from it. Okay, so if you like to draw a sun, then you can just think of it as these are the lines that you would put around it. Okay, so they have to go in all directions following the direction of the paper. So now we're gonna start with one section. So pick any section, it doesn't matter, and you're gonna make lines. Now, I'm gonna pick this one. So for this section, I'm gonna start by making semicircle lines that go across. And I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 sections, I have 5 lines. Okay, so I'm not gonna change that number. How many that I started with is the exact number that I'm gonna continue on all of them, unless I don't have space and they go off the page. So once I'm done one of them, then I'm gonna start and I'm gonna visit the one that's right next to it, and I am going to switch the direction of our lines. So instead of it looking like a smiley face, now it's gonna look like a frowning face. So we're gonna attach the next one right where the other one ended. Okay, so they should be connecting. And we're gonna do frowny faces. Okay, so you should have something like that. And then you're gonna keep going with that. You're gonna do smiley, frown, smiley, frown, smiley, frown, all the way around your paper until you're done. So let's do that. Now we can take our pencil crayons once we have our spiral pattern. Just open mine up. And you can choose whatever colors you want. I'm gonna go in a rainbow pattern. So I'm gonna start with, let's say purple, and go blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and keep going around. So let me start with purple. Okay, so again, I'm gonna start with this one that's right in the middle, and I'm going to pick this section here. You can pick any one, but I'm gonna go with this one. It's the big one, just to show you guys first, because these little ones are hard to see. So let's go with the big one. I'm gonna start by coloring it from the side in a straight line. Okay, I'm just gonna color the sides. Get a sharper pencil. I'm gonna color the sides just a little bit. And I'm pushing pretty hard at the sides. Let me show you guys a little better. So I'm pushing pretty hard on the sides. And then what I'm gonna do is I am going to start coloring it with some lighter pressure using side strokes and just taking it into the center so that it looks like a gradient. So gradient means when it goes from dark to light. But in this sense, it's going to be a gradient from, it's going to be like really dark in pressure, going from really light almost to where you can't really see it in the middle. So I know that beginners have learned this technique, and juniors definitely. I'm not sure about foundations, but this is a good thing to practice at home, is how to control how hard you're pressing, okay? So you should end up with something like this at the end. Now, if that's too hard for you, you can just go ahead and you can color in the whole thing in one pressure. Make sure it's in one direction, so I chose diagonal, so I'm just gonna continue with that. And you can just do it, the whole thing with one pressure. It's up to you. I would recommend to practice this one because I know that a lot of you guys find this challenging when we do it in class. So this is a good time to really start practicing this technique, okay? So I'm gonna start with purple, and I can do every other section in this technique. If some of them are too small, you can just color them in. You don't have to do this gradient technique. Now, in all of the sections where I don't have purple, so it should be every other one, I'm gonna do the same thing with black. So I'm gonna color the sides first. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring out this color into the center, pressing really lightly when I get to the middle. Same thing on the other side. Going a little bit outside of my lines, which is not good. So you should end up with something like that. And once you fill out all of these sections, it's gonna look really nice and it'll have a really nice effect. So let's continue this with blue. So the next section that I'm gonna do is blue. So same thing, I'm gonna color the sides first using pretty hard pressure. And then I am going to switch to coloring side to side and making sure that I blend out in between the really dark. I blend it together with my lighter pressure. So you can think of it as when you're starting out with your hard pressure, you don't want to all of a sudden start pressing really, really light, because then it's going to look like these two don't mix. And this is almost like an outline. So you're going to go from hard pressure to medium and then to really light pressure when you get to the center, so that it looks like it's blending together really nicely. Okay. So once you're done that, this, you can just keep going with any type of colors that you want, and this will fill out and look really nice. So I'm gonna keep going and you guys can follow along. Okay, so something I want you guys to keep in mind when you're coloring is that after you've colored your sides with hard pressure, to color the middle, you want to color in the direction. You're not going to be coloring straight. You're going to be using curved lines, and that'll depend on whether your section is smiley faces or frowny faces. So for this one, I'm going to be coloring in a smiley face direction. So I'm going to be curving my lines in that way. Okay guys, so once I have that all filled in and I've made sure that things are looking nice and there's not a lot of white spots left, I'm not going to continue to do the rest just for time's sake, because the video would be really long. So I'm going to let you guys do that, and I will put in the email the pictures that I got this reference off of, so that you guys can see what the finished product looks like. But I think already this does look pretty good, and I think once it's all done, it should look really nice. So I hope that you guys like this and that this is something that you feel comfortable trying out yourself. And parents, please send pictures of your kids' work. We would love to see the outcome of all of these projects. Okay, have a great break, guys.